to Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is the reward, and progress is the goal. I am your host, Andrea Gebhardt. I'm a former educator turned passionate entrepreneur whose desire to create impact has never wavered. I've spent the last decade teaching, mentoring, and coaching people on how to create success in their lives and businesses with proven strategies and systems that not only bring about change, but big results. When it comes down to it, teaching is my specialty, leadership is my jam, and inspiring you to live a bigger, fuller life is what I'm all about. This podcast will give you the knowledge and tools you need to brew success in almost any area of your life. You're going to walk away each week feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to step outside your comfort zone and into the next level of who you're meant to be. Now let's get into today's episode. I am beyond excited to take you through this 5-part series, and my hope is that it grounds you in truth, it settles your entrepreneurial anxieties, and reminds you that as entrepreneurs, we all experience the same things. The challenges never get easier, we just get better. And the challenges really never go away, they just make us better at what we do. There is a resounding level of comfort knowing that you aren't alone on this journey. And with a solid understanding of a few key concepts, you can literally unlock any level of success that you desire. That is right, you hold the key. So let's start with part 2 of the entrepreneurial. It's so, can we just talk about that word and how challenging it is to say sometimes? But let's get started with part 2 of the entrepreneurial survival guide. Part 2 is normalize the struggle. When you really think about being an entrepreneur, or maybe even a developing leader, or even a seasoned veteran in what you do, there is one thing that will always ring true. New levels, new devils, new heights, new fights. In other words, the struggle is real, and it is a real sign that you are doing things to make big moves. My mentor, actually, John Maxwell, always says, everything worthwhile is uphill. And I remember the very first time I heard him say that, and I've literally kept that in the forefront of my brain because every time I met with a challenge, every time I met with struggle, every time it feels a little hard, every time it feels a little too much, I remember the reason why it's challenging, the reason why it's hard, the reason why I'm struggling is because everything worthwhile is uphill. And he's right. There isn't a truer statement. The struggle takes place at the onset of success. Struggle is a sign of progress. Struggle is proof that you are moving outside of your comfort zone and onto things that are greater than where you are. So why is it that people freak out when the struggle bus shows up? Why is it that people tend to give up and give in when the going gets hard? It's mostly because people aren't given the struggle bus schedule. Listen, the minute you step outside of your comfort zone and onto the curb of big dreams, the struggle bus pulls up, opens the door, and before you realize it, you're sitting in a seat that was reserved just for you. And you are left reeling with the feeling that whatever it is you're pursuing isn't for you, that whatever it is you are chasing isn't meant to be, that whatever it is you are going after is surely going to fail. But my friends, that is the furthest thing from the truth. The truth is, and anyone who has ever experienced success in any arena will tell you, that the struggles you are going to face, the setbacks you're going to experience, the struggles that are going to make your head spin and your heart ache, those are totally normal and just a part of the process. You're supposed to struggle. It is not supposed to be easy. Why? Well, because if it was, what would you even learn? Struggle really is the greatest teacher. Struggle helps you refine the course. Struggle helps you identify opportunities to become better so you can do better. Struggle really is proof that effort is present. If you aren't failing, you simply aren't trying. Let me say that again. If you aren't failing, you're not trying. And if you're not trying, well, then you're all wrapped up in the cozy warmth of your comfort zone, snuggled up with complacency and a lack of progress. Listen, I know that it feels safe and familiar and a whole lot easier than the uneasiness of stepping outside of your comfort zone. But you weren't made to be small and do small things. You were made to rise up, grow and evolve and showcase your talents and strengths. You were designed to live on purpose, in purpose. So let's just say it once and for all and adopt a whole new mindset around this idea. It is totally okay to be out there in the world, chasing your dreams and struggling at the same time. Can you just say that with me? Can you just say, hey, listen, tell yourself, Andrea, or whatever your name is, right? Like, it is okay to be chasing your dreams and struggling at the same time. It reminds me of that quote that says you can, be falling apart and be a masterpiece at the same time. You can be chasing your dreams and struggling at the same time. We need to normalize this idea. We need to destigmatize the fact that struggle means you're not succeeding. Struggle is proof that you're making progress. Like, if we could just literally take ownership of that, what happens is the pressures of the struggles are alleviated and you're given the space and you're given the clarity to make the adjustments and learn the things you need to learn so that you can continue on the path as a better version of yourself. The struggle isn't not only very real, it's also very normal. And anyone who is out there doing anything experiences struggle on the reg. It's not the size of your struggle that makes or breaks you. It's the mindset and the energy you attach to it. So when I think about struggle, I cannot help but think about, when my boys first started learning to play baseball. They go up to the plate with the best of intentions. They're excited to jump into this new sport. And I remember sitting there like on the bleachers behind the backstop and your kids at bat, right? My boys are at bat at different ages, obviously, the first time they're learning to play. And that first pitch comes through and they swing with all their might and they miss the ball. Then what happens is the coach throws in a little bit of technique. Stand a little bit different, raise your back elbow, keep your eye on the ball. Ball comes in, kid swings with all their might, they miss again. Ball comes in, kid swings with all their might, they miss again. And it's so crazy because as a parent, we're sitting back and we're like, you've got this, you can do this. Like, we know that when you're doing something for the first time, we know that when you're learning a new skill, we know when you're out there chasing something you've never experienced, which by the way, if you're a leader or an entrepreneur, every day you're doing something you've never done the day before. Every day you're a beginner in the position that you're in. Think about that. 9-to-5ers, every day is the same thing. Every day is the same paperwork. Every day is the same files. Every day is the same clicking on a computer. Every day is the same thing. But as a leader and as an entrepreneur, you are out there experiencing, you're a beginner every single day. Every day that you wake up is a new day, a new opportunity. And what I love about that is it's also a new time for you to step outside of your comfort zone, right? Because every day is a little bit different. Everything that we experience is a little bit different. And so when I think about my boys playing baseball, I think about how they really struggled in the beginning. And nobody sat there and was like, oh, well, you didn't hit on the first try, so you suck. You're out. You're not going to be on the team. Or, you had a no-hitting season, so I guess really baseball isn't for you. If my boys had determined their ability to play baseball based on those first few practices, based on those first few seasons, and they had given up and they had let it go and they had walked away and they had stopped chasing the pursuit of playing the game that they loved based on their experiences in the beginning, those initial struggles that they had, they never would have went on to play. Carter never went on to become an incredible baseball player. Yeah, I know he's only 14, but he's an incredible baseball player. And that's not mom bias either. He's amazing. And he's so good at the game. And I remember him feeling discouraged. And I remember him feeling like maybe he wasn't good enough or maybe baseball wasn't his sport. But reminding him that struggling in the beginning, reminding him that you're not going to hit every ball, reminding him that there's going to be mistakes that are made, reminding him that that's all a part of the game. Even if you watch the pros, not every pro hits a home run. Not every row has I don't even know, like, is it like batting 500? Like when you hit all the balls? I don't know, I'm like the worst person to ask. I just love the game. I'm not super knowledgeable about it. Anyway, but even the pros make errors. Even the pros struggle. And that should remind you, like, listen to me, wherever you are in your journey, there are people who are further along in the path of success, further along in their journeys that you are, and they're still struggling. They're still encountering struggles. That's why I say it's not the size of your struggle that makes or breaks you. It's the mindset and the energy you attach to it. If you normalize the struggle, then you'll normalize your ability to overcome it. So can we just please stop pretending, guys, can we stop pretending that we don't struggle and that most times it's not really hard to show up for yourself and your goals when we know it's freaking the hardest thing ever? Can we stop pretending that the road to success is lined in roses and butterflies and actually fess up and talk more about how the road to success is lined with like cow pies and annoying mosquitoes? You're supposed Yes, I just said cow pies. Do you know what a cow pie is? I grew up in a small town. Like, you know. All my Oklahoma girls are like, yes, right? So you're supposed to struggle. It's supposed to be hard and challenging. You're supposed to feel like quitting from time to time, although you never do. And you're supposed to feel overwhelmed by the intricacies of entrepreneurship. You're supposed to take one step forward and 3 steps back. You're supposed to make mistakes. You're supposed to drop the ball. Your business is supposed to go up and down. Your income is supposed to fluctuate. Your energy and motivation is supposed to experience an occasional dip. You see, all of these aspects of struggle are supposed to happen. It is all very normal. And it is experienced, I promise you, by every person out there pursuing something greater than where they are in the moment. That is exactly why, and maybe why I'll encourage you right now to adopt a new way of communicating and leading. Guys, what if we actually talked more about our struggles than our successes? How inspiring would that be to the people who are just getting started? What if for every success we shared, bragged on, or talked about, we identified and shared 3 struggles that came along the way to that success? Think about how changing the conversation around struggle can also change the perception of it. Think about how this could impact people in a massive way. Think about how once we normalize the struggle, we also normalize the ability for people to overcome it. You see, the mindset around struggle is this: if it's hard, don't do it. If it's too challenging, give up. If it's been smooth sailing, then you run into a bump, it's not meant to be. Like, no, absolutely, no way. Think about how things might change if people come to appreciate their struggles and see it as a way that we are being served and shaped and set up for the next level of success. Can we write that down somewhere? Your struggles are serving you, shaping you, and setting you up for the next level of success. If you look at struggle as like that whittling process, if you look at struggle as that redefining process, you will anticipate struggle with a completely different mindset and attitude, one in which you look for the lesson that it's about to deliver because you know that it's designed to make you better. Bottom line, you will never be amazing at something you do for the first time. Baseball, riding a bike, building IKEA furniture, roasting a turkey, raising a child, that first job, that first business, that first leadership role. You can only ever get better than you are right now. And if struggle occurs at the onset of success, then you can clearly see it's all a part of the path you are meant to walk upon in your journey. Every struggle that you're going to encounter, every struggle that you've already endured was already pre-planned and put in place to be a part of those stepping stones to success. So the next time the struggle bus pulls up, you guys, instead of feeling nervous or anxious, I want you to smile. Instead of turning back and going the other direction, I want you to excitedly board that bus in anticipation of how this struggle is going to make you better. Instead of sitting in the back of the bus hoping no one sees you during your struggle, I want you to sit shotgun with the window rolled down, waving rambunctiously to all the people on the street, shouting that you're on the struggle bus and you're so excited because you know where it's going to take you. I don't want you to run from the struggles, and I certainly don't want you to hide behind them or sweep them under the rug of shame. I want you to embrace them. I want you to learn from them. I want you to utilize them to help you make the progress necessary to get where you want to go and to become who you were meant to be. It's not the struggles that keep people from having success. It's simply the inability to overcome your personal relationship with struggle. Think about some of the struggles you've encountered. And I really encourage you to do this. Come back to this podcast, re-listen to it, and sit down with your journal or a piece of paper. And maybe even if you're driving, like as soon as this is over, voice memo yourself. But I want you to think about the struggles that you've encountered. What did they teach you? How did they contribute to your growth and development? How did it make the path that you are on better? You see, once you start to see the good in the struggle, then you start to see that the struggles are really good. You guys, thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Brewing Success. I am so proud and honored to sit on the struggle bus with you guys every single day. If you know someone in leadership, if you know someone on their entrepreneurial journey, please share this episode with them. Share it in your stories. Tag me. Let's work together to normalize the struggle so we can also work together to normalize the ability to overcome it and help people be more successful.